Hi Ayushi, how are you?
Hi Sanjna, I am fine. What about you?
I'm good too, thank you. So, first of all, could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. I am Ayushi Grover and I am from a small town Hanumangarh, which is actually situated in a state Rajasthan. So recently I have completed my graduation from one of the most fine college of my hometown. I am basically from a science stream and right now I'm looking for some good options in like I want to pursue my master's. So that's why I'm just looking for some good universities and scholarship for that.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. So, you just told me that you're from Hanumangarh. Can you please tell me more
Yes.
about that?
Of course, Hanumangarh is actually not very established or very fully furnished, fully like developed city. So it is a very small town where you can have like basic hospitalities like hospital, restaurants, and malls. If I'm talking about studies, that this area is not very good. Like it's not the preference of the students. So basically, a person who wants to pursue a bachelor's degree, so that's why I can say that it's a good area to pursue your degree in basic science and humanities. Like all kind of education system like forensic or any anatomy department. So we are not having these kind of facilities in our hometown.
I get that. So, that's what I actually wanted to ask, that you belong to a small town kind of a place, and it's mostly observed that there are not many opportunities there. But considering that your English is reasonably well, so how do you think you developed your English skills living in a small town?
Actually, it's a very long story. I remember that I was in fifth class, and there was a debate competition was going on in my school. But the thing was that the competition was all in English. At that time, I was not really very good, but I decided to participate. Somehow, I managed myself to speak English, but it was not very proper. Due to that, I was not able to like score very good, and I was not able to go on a district level at that time that I decided now I will start working on my English. So from that day, I started reading some English novels and books. And I remember that one thing I did in my pastime, which was really very helpful for me, that was that I started reading vocabularies from dictionary. After that, I started imagining myself as the CEO of a company and started talking in front of mirror, which helps me a lot for sure in improving my English. And my parents actually support me a lot because from being a very small town area, even I have done my studies from Hindi medium from my first class till my graduation. So learning English for me was like to chase the rainbow.
Well, that's great. And also, you said the right thing that if a person wants to do something, the person will end up doing it irrespective of what resources are available. The thing that I want to ask you is that as you told me multiple things that you did, well, your story was based more on a debate competition, but there are many people who want to learn English not for some competition or anything, but they want to prepare for the job interviews or they just want to feel confident so that they're able to pursue their further studies. So for them, the ones who are sitting in small towns and even the ones who are in school right now, what do you think can be the way forward so that they are able to figure out opportunities? Because not many of them are even able to get a simple opportunity like being able to participate in a debate competition.
It depends actually on the level of English. I was pretty good in my childhood. Like when I started learning English, I found that I am good. I can learn English very easily. So if a person want to learn English, so my suggestion is firstly correct your grammar. Just learn the basic thing like articles, use of a and the. As I mentioned earlier, that firstly we have to learn how to use the tense. Then we need to we need to learn how to translate the words in English precisely. Then after we should go like what kind of formal and informal word we want to use, because that's not a big deal. The big deal is about like first we have to learn very basic of every subject. Doesn't matter it's an English or any other kind of subject.
Okay, so you said that you worked on your grammar as well. So, how
Yes.
exactly did you work on your grammar? What was the step one, then step two? Guide us through the entire process and what kind of resources you followed for learning grammar, because I know that is the first step that needs to be done, but how you did it?
Exactly. When I started learning English, when firstly I set up my mind that yes, I want to learn English. First, what I did was let I stand in front of a mirror and then I started talking to myself. Then I understood that I am making multiple grammatical errors, like I am not able to translate the words precisely. So, firstly, I started reading some grammar book, which is like very basic, like 8th class, 9th class book. I started reading them and started learning the rules of grammar, like how to translate the words, how to translate the sentence in order. So I started learning that. Then I started solving some test from online material. So then after, when I actually understand that yes, now my sentences are correct, they are completely fine, then I start working on some formal and informal letters. From that I understand like how to talk with a senior person. As you asked me that people are not able to clear their interview, this is the reason that they don't know how to talk to their senior or how to talk to a person who is higher in the position.
So this was about grammar. How did you actually work on your vocabulary? Because many a times what happens with people is that they are unable to think of the particular word that they require to speak in language. So how did you catch the vocabulary?
Well, when I was in my 10th class, like after my 10th exam, I did one thing which was really very useful for me. I started learning words from dictionary. I set up a goal that I will learn 50 words in a day because I was doing nothing in my whole day. So I started learning vocabularies from the dictionary. Then I started adding them in a sentence, which was really very helpful for me, like how I can use a proper word in a sentence.
Because you were in Hindi medium. So that means that when you were reading your textbooks, whatever you were reading, that was in Hindi, right? So how did you learn
Exactly.
English of every single word? Because I cannot even imagine that how you would have learned so many words, and that too after your class 10th, because most of the vocabulary base is already built by then. So how did you do that?
Well, like learning words from like being from a Hindi medium student and learning the words was not actually a very big task for me. That, as I mentioned earlier, I was interested in English and my journey started from fifth class. So from that, I started learning the English textbook which I was having in my school and a story book that was actually a part of my school curriculum. At that time I started learning the chapters again and again. I started reading them again and again. From that I learned multiple words, as well as when I got a Hindi word which was actually amazing and interesting, so I asked my teacher what can be the English translation for that and what can we call this word in English. So that thing actually set up in my mind. So in this way I learned different kind of vocabularies.
Well, that's really amazing that you always took the initiative. So, one thing you mentioned that you used to learn words from dictionary. I want to understand one thing. That see, learning words from dictionary is one thing, and then being able to use them is another. So, how did learning those words help you in application of those words?
Well, when I learn a one word, for example, when I understand a word flabbergasted, I started searching for that word, like what is the exact meaning? Because in English, we are having multiple meanings of a single word. So, firstly, I do a research on that word where I can use them. Then I started searching for the sentence which is related to that word. That means, like, if I learned the word flabbergasted, I start searching some sentences and I try to understand how they use the word and what is the exact meaning of that whole sentence. Because learning English is not just learning the vocabulary, it's just about we are saying something that should be mean too. So at that time I understand that I have to learn how to use the word properly in a sentence. Firstly I need to understand the whole meaning. In this way I learn how to apply the word in a sentence perfectly in a perfect space.
I'm sure many students will be able to benefit from this. Now, I want to ask
Of
you that
course.
you told me that you are willing to pursue your master's. So, being from a science
Exactly.
background, what are you exactly looking for?
Well, right now, my plans are pursuing my master's in forensic science. I believe that forensic is one of the subjects who give me like a spirit in my life to work precisely. What I understand is forensic science is actually not a joke. A person who is interested in thrill work, who wants to learn about the dead bodies, those people who wants to learn these things, those who are perfect for forensic science. And this is my motivation too. I saw a movie in my childhood, and there was a person who was examining a dead body. At that time, I asked my parents, like, what they're exactly doing. Then he told me they are a forensic expert and they are actually examining how the murder has been done. So that was the moment that I realized now I want to pursue my master's in English, a master's in forensic science. So at that time, I just made up my mind that I will also be a forensic examiner in my future. So this is how my journey started to be a forensic examiner. But due to some reason, I was not able to pursue my undergraduation. Right now, I'm looking for some really good opportunities.
So was CID also responsible for making you think about entering into forensic science?
Well, being a science student, I don't think so. Even if I have talked about CID or CBI in my childhood, my friends made me like they made a lot of jokes on me that okay, you will also be a next Daya in your life. So that can that was not my motivation at all. It was just about I was interested in science, and forensic is the occupation where you can have a thrill in your life. Your single day you will face multiple challenges and you will able to understand how to overcome from that. I am an extrovert personality and I always want to have a new day, a new spirit in my life. Whenever I wake up, I always have, let's do something new in my life. So this is the only reason that I want to achieve my masters in forensic examiner. Also, it has the best opportunities in our future.
So are you looking for studying from India or abroad?
It will be great if I will get an opportunity to study abroad in forensic science, because their forensic era is just amazing and fascinating. I mean, those who are interested in forensic science, they can understand the value of the equipments and the study material that abroad is having. India is also having amazing studies in forensic science nowadays. I would like to mention GFSU and NFSU here. These two universities are one of the most preferable universities for students, those who wants to achieve forensic science. So right now I'm trying in India to pursue my masters from these two universities. If I will not get admission in them, so I will look for a broad education.
What do you think are differences between studying abroad and studying in India?
Well, in my mind, I believe that there is no difference between both of the things. Like it depends on the personality, it depends on the individual. Just like I having a mindset that I want to be settled down in myself perfectly for my upcoming years. So this is the reason that I want to be settled down, whether it is in India or it is in abroad. It is just in mindset. It's just about the student. Some people nowadays are very fascinated from abroad life. They just want to explore the new culture, new tradition, new studying method. Just like I also want to pursue my masters from abroad, but it depends on the situation. If I will get a good opportunities in my hometown, so why will I leave it now? So this is the only thing that I believe. It depends on the individual whether he wants to pursue his masters from foreign culture or from the place that where he is living right now. It is actually depends on the mindset.
Well, yes, that's totally true. That if a person wants to do something, they'll end up doing it irrespective of the fact where they are living or where they are working or studying. And I think it's 100% true. But yes, foreign fascination is something that's very prevalent these days. And instead of travel, people want to settle there. But I think the people who are having talent should also stay in India and help in the growth of economy, because here we have multiple comfort zones, multiple subsidies, and in the end, our country is our country, right?
Exactly. Even youngsters should understand this thing that if they will not help to grow their country, who will help them? Na? So if we want that India will also be equal to America or London, we also have to work in our country, then we will able to like achieve a developing society. So I believe that some good options are also available, which is true that foreign is having better opportunities. This is also a reason that nowadays people are moving from their hometown to abroad, not just about to explore the culture. They just want to settle down in their life perfectly and they want to earn a good money. So this is also a reason.
Yes, exactly. Now, before ending today's video, we are just quickly going
Okay.
to have a 1 minute round. So, we'll be having a 1 minute conversation round in which I'll be asking you some questions. You have to just quickly answer them without thinking about anything. Okay, so let's start. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Favorite book?
Seven spiritual ways of understanding life.
And biggest fear?
Jumping from very long height, like bungee jumping and all.
Okay, and what's your favorite hobby?
Drawing and sketching someone's face.
Who's the person whom you hate the most?
I think my brother. Well, I should not say that, but yes.
What's one thing that you want to change in India?
I want to change the patriarchy thinking.
Okay, and who do you think is the best Bollywood actress these days?
I think Alia Bhatt. Actually, she's my favorite now, so that's why.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Japanese sushi. That was like a nightmare for me.
Okay. And one thing you would like to change about yourself?
I would like to change my talkative manner. I'm a chatterbox.
That's good. And at the last question is, if you get to be an animal, which animal you would like to become?
Lion, the king of all the animals.
And why?
Because I am actually ruled by sun. Those who are ruled by sun, they have the capability to be a king. They just want to lead the society, and I believe lion is the king of their animal society. So that is why I want to be a lion. Doesn't matter, it can be a lioness too. I will be able to show my dominant on lion.
Okay, that's amazing. So that was lovely having you over here, and it was a great conversation. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and I hope you get admission in your desired university, and will be hopefully having a forensic scientist with us very soon.
Of course, definitely. Whenever you will see my name in a forensic scientist list, just congratulate me.
I will for sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.